And now to represent Class 1A, Katsuki Bakugo. I just want to let everyone know that I'm gonna win. Bakugo, how could you say such things? Hey, it's not my fault that you all are just gonna be stepping stones to my victory.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with my partner in crime, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And today's it's almost someone's birthday.
Yes. February 10th. It's my birthday. Mark it on your calendars.
And for this, we're going back to a show that we haven't gone back to for a while. Our second show, My Hero Academia, from our expert.
Yes, finally, and just in time for my birthday, we are finally going to discuss Season 2 of My Hero Academia. So, where did we leave off?
We left off, we didn't talk about the climax of Season 1.
Yes. Well, why don't I give a little bit of a rundown of previously?
Yeah.
Well, we have essentially returned to UA after, I guess, what you would say the first month of Class 1A's, introduction into the school system. And, of course, we return to young Izuku Midoriya, who is now the new owner of the Power One for All, held by the number one hero and his mentor and number one favorite hero, All Might. Yeah, Midoriya had to train for months just to be able to use the power, and then had to eat one of All Might's hairs. Yeah, it's weird. But overall, we have seen all the classmates of Class 1A learn how to hone and properly use their powers, and things looked like they were starting to get good until Class 1A had their first experience with villains. Yes, a mob of supervillains decide to attack one of the buildings that Class 1A was about to do some training in. A huge mob of villains known as the League of Villains, and they're led by Tomura Shigaraki and Kurogiri. Shigaraki has this weird and unique ability to decay anything he touches with all 5 fingers. And Kurogiri, he's a living warp gate, or a living teleportation device. And they caused some major issues for everyone at that building. I mean, the homeroom teacher, Mr. Aizawa, Eraserhead, he ended up suffering some serious injuries. And as well, it was difficult for All Might to defeat Shigaraki's greatest weapon, this unthinking, unstoppable monster known as Nomu. But, hey, fortunately, All Might was able to defeat Nomu, send Shigaraki and Kurogiri and all the other villains packing, while at the same time, all the classmates of Class 1A were able to defeat a good amount of villains on their own, really being able to show that they really have what it takes to be heroes in the future.
Yep.
So, with that all finished, we're now going into Season 2. And Season 2 is actually broken up into 3 unique arcs.
Mm-hmm.
The Sports Festival arc,
Mm-hmm.
the Hero Training / Hero Killer arc,
Mm-hmm.
and the Final Exams arc.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't we go ahead and start with the first arc, the UA Sports Festival. Now, with the start of things getting serious at the school, Class 1A gets to participate in this very important festival or event known as the UA Sports Festival. It's where students from all grades and courses get to have the opportunity to showcase their abilities in different competitions in order to be scouted by pro-hero agencies and support agencies. And through this, we actually learned that the hero course isn't the only course in UA. There are actually much different branches and courses throughout the whole school. There's the hero course with Class 1A and Class 1B. There is the support course, in which there are individuals that make special gadgets and upgrades to suits for the heroes to make their superheroing easier and more efficient. There's the general studies course for individuals that weren't able to get into the hero course, but they're able to be a part of UA, and if they show that they have developed as heroes, they could potentially be moved into the hero course. And then finally, the business course. They don't do much. They do business. I mean, what much does business have to do with superheroing? But they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And through the sports festival, they actually have to go through different, how would you say, different competitions. Yeah. They have to go through an obstacle race, and the 42 students that are able to make it in time move to the semifinal round known as a Cavalry Battle, in which there's one person who's essentially being carried by several other individuals. They have to wear a bandana with their number of points based off of what place they got in the race. And pretty much all these different teams have to try and steal the other's headbands to gain more points without losing theirs. And then whoever, I believe it was the final 5 teams that got the most points would move into the final round, the fighting tournament. And my God, the fighting tournament was very good.
Yeah.
But through this arc, we what were your thoughts about the arc overall? The whole idea of it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in arc. We learned more about one of our characters who didn't have much to do in the first season, or didn't have much backstory in the first season. Sato.
Oh, you mean Shoto?
Shoto, yeah.
Well, actually, not more than just him. You got to learn a lot about various characters.
Yeah.
But you bring up Shoto.
Yeah.
He's one of the various characters that we either get introduced to or we learn much more about. Todoroki, he's one of Midoriya's classmates. He's actually one of the few kids that got into UA through recommendation, because Kid is a natural when it comes to his power and ability to become a hero. And also he got an additional in because he's the son of the number 2 hero, Endeavor. And oh Lord, the things we learned that Shoto went through were rough. I mean, the kid wanted to be a hero ever since he was very little. But unfortunately, his father was much more enthusiastic about it than he was. Endeavor has this really serious complex over wanting to be number 1. So much to the fact that he felt like, if I can't beat All Might in either a fight or superheroism, I'm going to create the next hero that can surpass him. So I'm going to go ahead, marry a woman who has the complete opposite quirk that I have, so it can well balance out our kid. And then we'll have a kid that can control both fire and ice. And Shoto, being the 4th child born, unfortunately had to be thrust into being ready to be this ultimate weapon in Endeavor's arsenal, which led to abuse. Yeah, never have I seen a 5-year-old child get punched in the stomach. And then his mother, trying to protect him, she also gets a backhand. It's rough. Endeavor, despite the man being a good hero, in his personal life, he's a villain. He really is. I mean, neither neglecting his other kids, being verbally and physically abusive to his own wife, and as well being way too hard on his own son, who actually gained the abilities that he wanted. And through that contemptuous relationship with his father, Todoroki refuses to use his left side, the side that controls his fire, because he feels as though he doesn't want anything to do with his father. And through the sports festival, we actually see him start to second guess his thoughts on the use of his powers. And maybe using his left side isn't so much resembling his father, it's really more of his own power. And that his father doesn't really have any handle on that. What were your thoughts on Todoroki?
At first, I was the way he said he was going to be Ezekiel sounded kind of mean, and then once I got more of his backstory, I felt for him, along with him actually becoming friends with Ezekiel after the tournament was over and all that.
Shoto actually is one of my favorite characters besides Midoriya himself.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of my favorite things for the sports festival to see Todoroki, his backstory, and see how he progresses. Because the sports festival is definitely a very important thing to help in his development. But hey, sports festival was incredible. We get to see a lot of the characters that we've been introduced in the first season show how much they've grown. We even get to learn a little bit more about them. Even like Ida
Yeah.
and Ochako. Ida, the reason why he wants to be a hero is his family has been heroes for generations. And he wants to be just like his big brother, who is the current hero in Genium. And Ochako, she's more into being a hero for the money, but not for herself, for her family. Family has a construction company that's not doing well, and she wants to make money to give her parents a much better and easier life. And, that's really commendable.
Yep. Should we talk about the second arc?
Oh, yes.
One of my favorite arcs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, after the sports festival, Class 1A gets offers from various pro hero agencies to begin their pro hero training. And as well, they also get the opportunity to finally pick out their hero names. And some are actually a lot more creative than others. I won't spoil some of the unique ways that they name themselves, but I will point out one thing. You notice how, for the longest time, Bakugo has been calling Midoriya Deku? It's because when he was a kid, he was able to figure out this mean nickname for him. Deku essentially means defenseless Izuku. Well, from the first time Midoriya faced off Bakugo in one of the tests that they were doing in Season 1, Deku decides that name is no longer an insult. It's the name of a hero. I won't take away how that becomes a thing, but it's very poignant. But now we get into, their hero training. While some students actually got a lot of recommendations and offers, Midori only gets one. But it's a very important one because it comes from a former teacher of UA and was actually the friend of All Might's mentor. This man is known as Gran Torino.
Yep. Like the car. Gran Torino.
And it works out very well because that's his ability. He's fast as I don't know what, despite the fact that the man is old. What were your thoughts on Gran Torino?
Yeah. First, I wasn't quite sure what to think of at first. Was he senile? Was he did he get on purpose, or was it all part of training?
Was he messing with Izuku?
Yep.
I get that, but the way I see him is he's essentially Midoriya's Yoda. And that's kind of a lot like how Luke met Yoda. That Yoda was acting very aloof and silly, and you were like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Does he know Yoda? What is going on here? I can see the parallels, and that actually works very nicely because Gran Torino is the one that can finally help Midoriya in using One for All, because the one issue with Midoriya is he doesn't know how to properly harness the power without seriously injuring himself. This One for All is such a strong power that you really have to be, very well built to harness the ability. That's why Midoriya had to train for months just to get ready to try to get into the hero program and get into UA. And pretty much almost every time that we've seen him use the ability, he is injuring something.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's his fingers, his whole arm, both of his legs and an arm. Kid has a rough shot. It's really difficult. And All Might's new to being a teacher, so he's not really sure how to really help Midoriya.
Mm-hmm.
But Gran Torino is able to give Midoriya the idea on how to use his power without seriously injuring himself. Essentially let the power flow through him before he utilizes it. Essentially what he calls full cowling.
Mm-hmm.
He has it flow through him. It's essentially covering him completely. And it actually makes him being able to use One for All more efficiently and without seriously injuring himself.
Mm-hmm.
But he still needs to work on the percentage of power that he can use. I mean, he can't really go anything past like 20%,
Mm-hmm.
or else it'll be bad. But what did you think of that training that Gran Torino and Midoriya had?
I thought it was pretty funny and pretty good, the way he trained them. And then we get to like the big villain arc.
Yes. Yeah, not everything's all, rosy and fun for everyone right now. Because while the kids are doing this, on patrol, training on how to be a hero, there's actually a serious threat on the loose in the streets. A crazed individual known as Stain, who's been identified as a hero killer. And it's very... Yeah, the moniker's very well warranted because he's killed numerous heroes throughout, like, the whole country. And he does this due to his own kind of, I would say twisted, but I also kind of understand his ideology, that he feels he must cleanse society of false heroes. Mm-hmm. Those who became heroes for things like money or fame or doing it for some sort of vain or materialistic reason are unworthy to be called a hero. And he feels as though the only hero that is a true hero is All Might. So, yeah, while these kids are going around doing their hero training, they also have to worry about some crazed individual that's going around killing pro heroes or potential heroes. And it definitely becomes serious when one of Class 1A's students has a very bad run-in with Stain.
Ida.
Yes, Tenya Ida. Ida has a serious issue with Stain because during his brother Tensei and Genium's, usual rounds of hero work, he ran into Stain, and Stain seriously injured him. Mm-hmm. He almost killed Tensei. Mm-hmm. But Tensei did live. But the unfortunate thing is, he can no longer be a hero ever again because, due to Stain injuring him, he became paralyzed from the waist down. And with Ida, he now has to he now has the weight of trying to inherit the name Ingenium in honor of his brother, because his brother himself said, carry on that name, you know, to continue my mission of trying to help others. And also, Ida wants revenge.
Yep. Of course he does.
Of course. And can you blame him?
No.
I mean, your big brother, the person you look up to, gets put out of commission.
Yeah.
Just as you're on the cusp of proving yourself as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't blame Ida for wanting revenge, but I don't think, one, he wasn't ready,
Mm-hmm.
and two, he really should have let his friends know.
Yeah.
Because it may have made things a bit easier.
And we recommend that you watch it because we shouldn't get...
Yeah, we're not going to give away anything else about this arc, but I'm going to tell you, when some of the students finally run into Stain, it gets serious.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, they don't even have to just worry about Stain. Shigaraki and Kurogiri have somehow, some way, gained more Nomus and are also attacking the city on top of that. So it's a huge cluster. It's a huge incident.
Yeah. So, should we go into the third arc?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, the third and final arc. Yep, we reached the end of the semester, so now it's test time.
Yeah.
You know, final exams to see where all the students rank throughout the class, and also see if they've actually grown as heroes. There are 2 tests. There's a written test that took like a few days. Yeah. And then there is actually a practical test in which the students actually have to be in kind of a hero-villain scenario. Mm-hmm. It's 2 students teaming up to face off with one of the UA teachers.
Yeah.
And they're put in these scenarios in which either the students have to capture the teacher by handcuffing them, or they have to evacuate the area through the designated exit.
It's in case they ever deal with a real threat again.
Yeah, where sometimes, despite their best efforts, they can't soundly defeat the villain, so they need to get out of there and regroup. Mm-hmm. So they can fight another day.
Yep, and we get interesting coupling.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are actually very unique and very... They actually work out very well. Yeah. Should I go down all the pairings? Or should I just highlight the most important?
Yeah, highlight the most important one.
Well, the most important one is Midoriya and Bakugo
the odd couple
versus All Might.
The odd couple.
Yeah. All Might, number 1 hero. Bakugo, absolute monster and horrible individual that has a really bad superiority complex. And young Midoriya, if you turned a puppy into a human being. You can obviously see that this is going to be very interesting.
Bakugo's big ego.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting and very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting.
So, you want to tell about what your score or what you thought of season 2? Or?
Oh, yes. For me, this is actually one of, if not my favorite season of My Hero Academia. It's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. If we had just maybe had a little bit more information about maybe some of the villains,
Yeah.
I would give it a perfect 10.
Yeah.
But this was definitely a great way for the story to progress, see how all the characters grow and progress, and actually understand how serious being a hero is in the society.
Yeah.
What are your...
I'm giving it 8 out of 10. It was really good. Mainly the hero same part was my favorite arc of it all. Everything else had potential on there. It was mainly the third arc that kind of got me tired on there.
I'm not here for tests. I'm here to see action.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of lost my interest after the second arc ended. There.
But hey, you did like the sports festival.
Yeah.
And that's actually my favorite arc of all of My Hero, is
Yeah.
the sports festival.
Yeah. So, where should they find My Hero Academia?
You can find My Hero Academia on Funimation's streaming service. You can also find it on Hulu. And you can also find it on Crunchyroll.
And happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, turning 28 years old. Lord have mercy.
Or you will be 28 when this airs.
Yeah.
And then thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Find us on Facebook. Impact 14, the Real Screen Team. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube. We really need those subscribers.
Yes, we are really close to 50 subscribers.
Yep.
And please also comment on our videos. Don't just like or watch. Please engage with us. We really want to make these videos the best that we possibly can, and we really want to know your feedback. So please comment.
Yep, and give us some feedback, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
We need something something. Maybe we can try it out, or maybe.
Yeah, give us ideas.
Yep.
And once we actually gain a really good following, we get more than 100 subscribers, maybe then at that point we might want to do some viewer requested reviews.
Yeah. But then coming soon, we do our epic marathon that our most epic and ambitious marathon that we've done yet. We're doing the DCEU,
otherwise known as the Snyderverse.
to get ready for the Snyder Cut Justice League.
Yes, the proper director's cut of Justice League that we have been clamoring for years. Finally, director Zack Snyder gets to show us his idea of what Justice League could have been the first time around.
And it's going to be all March.
Yes, all of March. We're going to go over the films that led up to the original theatrical release of Justice League.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the original theatrical release, the one that was started by Zack Snyder but completed by director Joss Whedon. And then we're finally going to go ahead and give our full-on review of Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. And we want to roll us out, birthday boy.
Well, sure. Thank you all for coming. Definitely come back and watch us again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really helps us, and we definitely want this channel to grow. Thank you. Let's fade.